Termux. Now let us see what is Termux. Getting started, Termux is a terminal emulator application enhanced with large set of command line utilities ported to Android OS. The main goal is to bring Linux command line experience to users of mobile devices with no routing or other special setup required. So how does it work? The terminal emulator is basically an application that launches the command line program by using system call execve. I will give you the link of this. And redirecting standard input, output and error streams onto the display. Most terminal applications available on Android OS work with a very limited set of utilities, which are usually provided either by the operating system or other routing tools such as Magisk. They have decided to go on further and port common software usually available on GNU Linux systems to Android OS. Termux is neither a virtual machine nor any other kind of emulated or simulated environment. All provided packages are cross-compiled with Android NDK and only have compatibility patches to get them working on Android. The operating system does not provide full access to its file system. So Termux cannot install packages files into standard directories such as bin, etc, usr or var. Instead, all files are installed into the private application directory located at data.com.termux files and your user. If you have rooted your mobile, you can easily access this data.com.termux files user in your file manager. But if you are not rooted, it may be hard to go to that location. We can call the directory prefix and usually refer to it as $ prefix, which also an exported environment variable in the Termux shell. Note that this directory cannot be changed or moved to an SD card. It has to be always be in your internal storage. The file system must have support for Unix permissions and special files such as symlinks or sockets. The prefix path is hard-coded into all binaries. In addition to prefix, users can store files in the home directory or under $home available at data.com.termux files home. So this file manager location and this files location are already predefined into Termux. So these are the locations where all your packages, all your all your variables all will be installed in that particular location. Is Termux the same as Linux? This is a question raises for many when starting to learn about Termux. Termux provides a package ecosystem similar to the one in Linux distributions. However, you should be aware that Termux is just a regular application running on Android OS. As such, as stated previously, everything is installed into $prefix. And note the standard directories like bin or etc. The environment is single user only. Beware of this when executing commands as root, since you can mess up permissions and SE Linux labels. Termux uses the same libc and dynamic linker as Android OS. So these are some higher end stuff. When you're learning about Termux, and after getting to know more about it, you will finally understand what is SE Linux labels, what is libc, what is dynamic linker. You have to have a good knowledge on ethical hacking also for understanding these terms. Even if you don't understand these terms, or if you don't understand how to root your mobile, don't worry. This is just beginning of the Termux, so don't worry about it now. So what you can do with Termux? There are a number of common use cases for the Termux application. Data processing with Python, programming in a development environment. That means you can also program your C, C++ also in your Termux. Downloading and managing files and pages using time established tools. Learning the basics of Linux command line environment. Running an SSH client. Synchronizing and backing up your files. Of course, usage is not limited to the topics listed above. There are more than 1,000 packages in your our repositories. That is in Termux repositories. If these packages don't have what you're looking for, you can compile your own. They have a variety of build tools, including compilers for languages like C, C++, Go, Rust. Interpreters for common languages like Node.js, Python, Ruby are also available too. Please note that Termux is not a routing tool and will not give you root privileges unless you're skilled enough to break the Android OS security. That is, unless you root your device. So is root required actually to use Termux in your mobile? Normally Termux does not require device to be rooted. In fact, it's primarily targeted for non-root users. You may want to root your device to modify a device firmware, manipulate the parameters of the operating system or kernel, non-interactively install and uninstall APKs, have full RW access, that is read and write access to all file systems on device, have direct access to hardware devices such as Bluetooth, Wi-Fi modules or serial lines, install a Linux distribution on top of Android through chroot, not proot. Proot is for Linux, chroot or containerization. Generally have full control over your device. These are the things if you want to do, you need to root your device, otherwise root isn't necessary. So are there any tutorials? Strongly suggesting to avoid YouTube tutorials, especially related to hacking. There are a lot of clickbait targeted on not experienced users. So if you decided to follow them, ensure that you are understanding the executed commands. Also, always check the content of the downloaded files. If content of downloaded scripts is obfuscated, that should be alarm but potentially unsafe content. Like some of the beginners who are teaching Termux commands in YouTube, even sometimes they even don't test that link or test that method, and they showcase in YouTube, which may be a problem for the users who are viewing it. And also some hackers potentially they wantedly keep links that when you use on your device hacks your device. So be careful when using this kind of things. It is good to learn new things, but when learning new things, please don't mess up yourself. So that is what Termux introduction.